got anything for me?
Creo que usted tiene algo para mí.
I didn't know what he said, but I knew I didn't like it. I'd seen the car from the boat, and I just hoped the keys I'd been given for it would work. All I had was a name, Mr. Sanatan, and a briefcase that was going to help me find him. Not a simple task on my first job, but on my first visit to Cuba.
I pushed my soul in a deep dark hole, and then I followed it in. I watched myself crawling out as I was crawling in.
I'd started to get a real feel for the place when I realized I had company. Me being tailed, then I was too visible. And I was glad when they went away.
You've been here 2 minutes and you've got a tail already. Drapo's the guy you want to see. Be at the rooftop of Jésus Marie at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Drapo's the only one who knows about your Mr. Sanatan. Don't forget. Bring your briefcase.
Anything else?
Come on, out of there.
As I saw the car, I sensed somebody behind me. Tanner?
Better get to know these streets if you're going to be any use to me. Be careful when you meet Drapo. He has a map for us, but he knows the briefcase leads to Mr. Sanatan. And he paid a lot of money to get his hands on it.
Tanner, what does Sanatan know? Tanner gave me a gun, and I didn't want to let him down, but I didn't know what to expect when I got to the rooftop from my meeting with Drapo. Mr. Sanatan was a mysterious Cuban guy who was in the fortunate position of being the only person with access to a top-secret document that every secret agent and every underworld gangster, including Drapo, was trying to get hold of. I had no idea how the briefcase I was carrying could get me to Mr. Sanatan.
¡Despierta! 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 ¿Ya se despertó? Sí, ya se despertó.
I was not tied up, but there was no way out. Not a good sign.
Nice car. Nice car.
How was I going to explain this to Tanner? Sorry, Tanner, I lost the briefcase to a couple of Cuban wise guys.
Todos quieren ver al señor Sanatan.
The guy was saying something about Mr. Sanatan, and then about Drapo.
Va a estar muy feliz de encontrar.
I guess that these two wise guys worked for Drapo. They were going to give him the briefcase.
On the floor. Now. Hey, stupid. Over here. Go back to Drapo and tell him that kidnapping is not a nice way to do business. The deal is this. We keep the case. You two idiots get to keep some of your teeth. I should have known a meeting with Drapo would be a setup. But now the ball's back in our court. Drapo has a copy of an important map, and he's willing to play ball with it to get the case. But don't let the case go until you know how it gets us to Mr. Sanatan.
The map that Drapo had was the only reason we needed to see it. Drapo was loud and visible around Havana, so he wasn't hard to find. Drapo?
Si, senor? Who's asking? Ah, sit down, my friend. Sorry my friends detained you before we had a chance to meet. These days, you have to be so
The map of the
cautious.
case.
Okay.
Drapo hadn't expected the briefcase to be empty, and he was not happy. I had to work out the link between the case and Mr. Sanatan,
Playing with Drapo?
and I had to work it out now. No, it's your case.
So where is the code?
I want Mr. Sanatan.
Mr. Sanatan.
You hear me?
Sanatan.
Hey, hombre, are you listening to me?
I'll take the map.
No deal.
While sitting there with Drapo, I'd worked it out. Mr. Sanatan was not a person, but an anagram for San Martin, a street in Havana. The briefcase code, 121, was a door number, and the map and the key from Drapo would get me in. I was in pole position to get the document everybody wanted. It's that damn car again. Who is that? I still didn't know who was following me around in this car. And right now, I didn't know if it was one step behind or one step ahead of me.